Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an ancient source of wellness that might just be the perfect remedy for our modern problems. We're talking about the mulberry tree. We're going to find out how this one single plant, from its berries all the way down to its leaves, has been a cornerstone of health for thousands of years.
I mean, that's a great question, right? In our busy, high-stress lives, who doesn't feel wound a little too tight sometimes? This thought from our source material just captures that feeling perfectly, that need to decompress. And the answer might not be in a new gadget or some app, but in something far, far older.
You see, in Chinese culture, the mulberry tree isn't just a tree. It's looked at as a complete treasure trove of wellness. For thousands of years, every single part of it has been used, from its leaves feeding silkworms to make clothes, to its bark for paper, and what's most important for us today, its fruit, leaves, and even its roots for some really powerful medicine.
And hey, this isn't some new fad. We're talking about a legacy that stretches back thousands of years. Think about it. Around 3000 BCE, the entire silk industry was born because of its leaves. By 100 CE, people were using it to make paper. Then you fast forward to the Ming Dynasty, and the legendary physician Li Shizhen is cataloging its incredible medicinal properties. And now today, it's known all over the world as a superfood. That is some serious staying power.
So, let's start with the part most of us know and probably love, the delicious mulberry fruit. It turns out these sweet little berries are absolutely packed with benefits that can help with some surprisingly common modern complaints. Have you ever had one of those days you're just chugging water but you still feel totally parched, right? That deep, unquenchable thirst? Sound familiar? Well, in traditional Chinese medicine, they actually have a specific concept for this exact feeling. It's called 小渴, which translates to something like wasting thirst. It's this condition where you just can't seem to get hydrated no matter how much you drink. And the great physician Li Shizhen noted that something incredibly simple could solve this, just eating mulberries.
And the solution today is just as simple and easy. The source material suggests taking a few spoonfuls of mulberry jam, mixing it with some water, and just drinking it down. This simple juice is said to give you pretty much immediate relief and quench that deep-seated thirst. How easy is that?
Okay, let's tackle another common one. That lightheaded, dizzy feeling, or maybe you're even struggling with anemia. In TCM, these things are often linked to a need to nourish the blood and support the heart. And this goes way beyond just red blood cells. It's about enriching that vital substance that nourishes all our organs and tissues, and even our mind.
And for that, here's a wonderfully simple recipe, a mulberry goji tea. All you do is combine some mulberries, fresh or dried, whatever you've got, with some goji berries and longan fruit. Now, longan is another one of these fantastic blood-nourishing ingredients. You just boil them in water, let it steep for a few minutes, and that's it. The result is this warm, comforting tea that's designed to help strengthen your heart and build up your blood.
Now, here's a really fascinating idea from TCM. There's this deep, deep connection between the health of your blood and the health of your hair. The belief is that dark, shiny, lustrous hair is a direct sign of abundant, healthy blood. And on the flip side, premature graying is a sign that your blood might be a little weak. So, if you nourish your blood, you're also nourishing your hair from the inside out.
So how do we actually do that? This is brilliant. The source suggests a modern and delicious twist on an ancient formula for hair health. They call it fuzong toast. You just take your favorite piece of toast, spread some mulberry jam on it, and then sprinkle it with a good amount of black sesame powder, which is another powerhouse for nourishing the kidneys and hair. It's a breakfast that tastes great and is working to keep your hair dark and healthy.
The benefits aren't just physical. This powerful quote from a Tang Dynasty physician really speaks to the mulberry's ability to calm the mind and spirit. It highlights its role in promoting mental clarity, getting better sleep, and even slowing down the aging process.
The traditional way to unlock these cognitive benefits was to dry the mulberries, grind them into a superfine powder, and then mix that powder with honey to form little pills. Taking these every day was believed to calm the spirit so you could sleep better and sharpen your mind for better memory.
All right, we've covered the amazing fruit. Now let's shift gears and talk about the leaves. Yeah, they're famous for feeding silkworms, but their medicinal properties are just as incredible.
So here's a really common complaint, especially for those of us who sit or stand all day. You know the feeling? You wake up totally fine, but by the late afternoon, your ankles and feet are all puffy and swollen. This is a classic sign of water retention, or what's called edema. And this is a great example of the practical wisdom of ancient medicine. A physician named Su Gong recommended boiling mulberry leaves into a concentrated tea.
See, drinking this acts as a natural diuretic, helping your body flush out all that excess water and relieving that really uncomfortable swelling.
What about a different kind of pain? Not a constant ache in one spot, but a wandering pain that seems to move from joint to joint. In TCM, this is often called wind dampness pain. The wind part signifies its moving, unpredictable nature, and it can be so frustratingly hard to treat.
For this, there's a really fascinating topical remedy. The method involves taking mulberry leaves that have been touched by frost, which was thought to actually enhance their properties, boiling them down, and then using that warm water to wash your hands and feet. This external application is said to help expel that wind and soothe that moving joint pain.
Okay, we've talked about hair color, but what about hair growth? For anyone out there who's struggling with thinning hair or it just won't grow fast enough, or even for new moms dealing with postpartum hair loss, these ancient texts offer another potential solution from the mulberry leaf.
Okay, get this. This recipe actually comes from a super famous text called the 1,000 Golden Formulas. It involves boiling mulberry and hemp leaves in gan shui, which is just the starchy water you get from washing rice. Then you use that liquid as a hair wash. But here's the wild part. The source makes this incredible claim that after just 7 washes, it could stimulate your hair to grow several feet. I mean, what an amazing assertion to find in an ancient text. So as we've seen, from thirst and anemia to joint pain and hair health, the mulberry tree truly seems to be a plant for total wellness. But, and this is really important, just like with any potent natural remedy, you have to be aware of the precautions.
Safety first, always. According to the source material, you should be cautious with mulberry if you tend to have digestive issues like loose stools or if you're on blood thinners. Same goes if you're pregnant or on your period. And, like with a lot of things, young children should only have it in moderation.
And that idea of moderation is really key. Even for healthy adults, the recommended daily limit for fresh mulberries is somewhere around 20 to 30 berries, and that's mainly to avoid taking in too much fructose, which can cause its own set of issues.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. As we're all out here searching for these high-tech, complicated answers to our health problems, this whole explainer on the mulberry tree kind of reminds us that sometimes the most profound solutions have been with us all along, just quietly growing in nature. It really makes you wonder, what other ancient treasures are just waiting out there for us to rediscover?